By the time my plane landed back in New York, Evan had called me 999 times. The night before our cathedral wedding, he had secretly married his ex at the Manhattan city clerk's office, then ordered me to put on my gown and protect his family's name. I left without warning. A week later, his grandfather's aorta tore open, and the only surgical plan that could save him was locked inside my head. Evan thought panic would bring me back to him. He was wrong. "Do not embarrass me tomorrow," Evan said over the phone. Sophia needed security. The courthouse ceremony was paperwork. You still get the wedding everyone will respect. I stood in the bridal suite at the plaza, half-zipped into a silk gown that had taken months to alter. A photo of his courthouse marriage glowed on my screen. Wear the dress. Smile for the cameras. And stop acting emotional. He added, "My grandfather cannot handle a scandal." I looked at my reflection. "Then let your wife wear it." "My name is Dr. Claire Bennett. I was a cardiothoracic surgeon at Whitmore Heart Institute. And until that moment, I had been Evan Whitmore's fiancé. His grandfather, Walter Whitmore, was also my patient, the man whose failing heart and damaged aorta I had monitored for years. I did not scream. I did not throw the ring. I slid it off, placed it in its velvet box, and opened my laptop. My best friend, Maya Torres, had sent me the photo. Evan wore a dark suit outside the Manhattan city clerk's office. Sophia Hale stood beside him in a cream dress, clutching their marriage certificate with red, wet eyes. Maya called immediately. "It is real," she said. I checked the filing. "They signed this afternoon." Behind me, the wedding coordinator waited with a clipboard. "Dr. Bennett, should the orchestra begin before the vows or after the processional? Hold every remaining payment." I said. She blinked. "Excuse me? My attorney will contact you." My phone buzzed again. Evan had texted. "Sophia's father is very sick. She came back to New York, unstable. I gave her legal security so she would calm down. The church wedding is still happening. Do not make a scene." I read it twice. The cruelty was not hidden in the marriage. It was in his certainty that I would swallow it. He knew I hated public drama. He knew I kept promises. He knew Walter trusted me with the surgical plan that might one day save his life. Evan had mistaken discipline for obedience. I called Maya. "Book me the first flight to Seattle." "You are leaving?" "Yes." "What about the wedding?" "There is no bride." The phone rang before she could answer. "Evan." I put him on speaker while I stepped out of the gown. "You saw the picture?" he said. "I did." "Good. Then I do not have to explain it twice." Sophia had a breakdown. Her father may not make it. She needed to know she was not alone. "So you married her?" "It is a document." "Claire, you are a doctor. Be rational." The zipper slid down my back. The gown loosened around me. "Rationally. You have a wife." His tone hardened. "Do not play games." "I am not. You and I will still have the cathedral ceremony. Society will recognize you. My grandfather will see us at the altar. Nothing important has changed." I almost admired the arrogance. "You want Sophia to hold the legal title?" I said, "While I wear the gown. Absorb the humiliation. Protect your grandfather. And keep your family respectable." "You are twisting this." "No. I am translating it." He exhaled sharply. "Claire, I will not tolerate you speaking to me like this." From the other end, I heard Sophia cough. Evan's voice changed at once. "It is okay. I have it handled. Soft. Patient. Protective." I had begged for that voice during years of missed dinners, canceled weekends, and cold silences. Hearing him give it to her did not break my heart. It clarified it. I ended the call. The makeup artist hovered near the door. "Are you okay?" "Yes." I changed into black slacks, a cashmere coat, and the shoes I had worn to work that morning. The hotel manager followed me into the hall. "Mr. Whitmore told us you were handling all final approvals." He was mistaken. Outside, Evan's driver opened the rear door of a black SUV. Mr. Whitmore asked me to take you to the townhouse. He cannot ask me for anything anymore. I walked past him, ordered a car, and headed to the airport. During the ride, I turned off location sharing, left the wedding planning chat, muted the Whitmore family thread, and forwarded every contract, receipt, message, and photograph to my attorney. Evan texted again, "Calm down. Be at the cathedral on time." I replied with a single word, "Sure." Then I boarded a flight to Seattle. When the plane lifted over Manhattan, I watched the city fall beneath the clouds. I expected grief. What I felt was relief with sharp edges. For years, I had explained Evan's coldness to myself. I had found compassion for everyone except me. The next morning, while guests filled St. Patrick's Cathedral, I was checking into a hotel across from the Seattle Convention Center. My phone flooded with messages. "Where is the bride? The flowers are here. The groom is at the altar. Mr. Whitmore says your flight was delayed." Evan's messages came next. "Where are you? My grandfather is already seated. Do you understand what you are doing to him?" Maya sent a video from inside the cathedral. White roses lined the aisle. Our engagement portrait filled a screen near the altar. Evan stood beneath the vaulted ceiling, jaw tight, checking the doors every few seconds. Walter sat in the front pew with a folded coat across his knees and a pill case beside him. My chest tightened for the old man. Not for Evan. Walter had believed in me when senior surgeons called me too young. He had handed me his case and said, "Skill does not have an age." He had treated me like family before Evan ever did. But gratitude was not a leash. Evan called. I answered. "You are in Seattle?" he demanded. "Yes." "Who gave you the right to leave?" "I did." "Do you know how this looks? The groom is married." I assumed he did not need another bride. "This is an emergency situation with Sophia." "Then take your emergency to the altar." "Claire." "Cancel the wedding?" His voice dropped. "You think you can humiliate my family and walk away?" I already walked away. I ended the call. By afternoon, the Whitmores claimed I had become ill. Then a guest posted Sophia entering through a side door, and someone found the courthouse record. The lie collapsed. An aunt called me. "You have made this family look ridiculous. Did you know Evan married Sophia?" A pause. Men panik. He made a confused decision. That does not justify abandoning a cathedral full of people. He found the city clerk's office without getting confused. "Walter had chest pain because of you?" "No. He had chest pain because your nephew detonated his own wedding." I blocked the number. That night, I attended the medical conference I had nearly canceled. I refused to let Evan's betrayal become the most important thing I had done that week. The following day, Maya sent me a photograph from the Whitmore townhouse. Sophia sat in my usual chair at Walter's table. Evan was placing food on her plate. She moved in fast. Maya wrote. I looked at the image, then closed it. A chair was easy to take. The weight attached to it was not. Sophia began posting photographs from the family home. The terrace, the library, the marble staircase. Then she posted her hand wearing Walter's antique emerald brooch. I recognized it immediately. Walter had pinned it to my dress the night Evan proposed. Later, Evan placed it in the family vault, claiming it was too valuable for me to wear at the hospital. Sophia's caption read, "It feels good to be welcomed by the people who matter." Maya called. Furious. "She is wearing your brooch. Save the post." "That is all? Save everything. You are not going to confront her?" "No. I want her comfortable. The higher she climbs." I said, "The more people will see when she falls." Evan emailed me. The subject line read, "Enough." He ordered me to return. Tell the guests the wedding had been postponed for health reasons. And stop damaging the Whitmore name. He ended by reminding me that Walter trusted me. I replied, "Resolve your legal marriage before contacting me again." Then I blocked him. For several days, silence returned. Before dawn at the end of the week, my hotel phone rang. A A resident from Whitmore Heart Institute spoke so fast she nearly tripped over her words. Dr. Bennett. Walter Whitmore arrived with severe chest and back pain. The scan shows an acute aortic dissection. He is unstable. I was out of bed before she finished. Send the imaging through the encrypted system. Put Dr. Marcus Reed on. Marcus was the chief of cardiothoracic surgery and one of my former mentors. His voice came through minutes later. It is bad. Claire. The tear has extended. His heart is weak. Your backup plan is the only approach built around his full history. I am opening the scans. Evan is here. He wants to speak to you. No. I enlarged the first image. The damage was worse than our last assessment. Another call hit my cell from an unfamiliar number. I answered, Claire. Evan said. His voice was raw. Granddad is dying. Come home. Give the phone to Marcus. You need to get on a plane. I'm consulting with the medical team. This is not the time to punish me. I am not punishing you. Then come back. You should ask your wife? Silence. When he spoke again, the anger returned. Do you have to be cruel right now? Your wife was useful at City Hall. Is she less useful in an emergency? Claire. They are trying to stabilize him. Then stop wasting their time. He lowered his voice. Send me the plan. I will send it to the hospital. I am family. You are not a surgeon. A young doctor spoke behind him. Mr. Whitmore. We need consent and a decision. Evan snapped. Claire. Tell me what to do. Hand the phone to Marcus. He kept breathing into the line. My voice turned cold. Every second you spend protecting your ego belongs to your grandfather. The phone changed hands. Marcus and I reviewed the images. We adjusted the sequence, discussed blood flow, bypass support, and the fragile section of Walter's aorta. I uploaded the plan directly into the hospital system. Marcus asked, How soon can you be here? I will take the earliest flight. The family jet can... No. The hospital will send a formal consultant request. I return as Walter's surgeon. Nothing else. He understood immediately. I will have legal send it. Be honest, would you have gone back to save his grandfather after what he did to me? I booked the flight and called Maya. I am coming home for my patient. Evan gets nothing. While I packed, I asked her to organize the courthouse record, the wedding contracts, Sophia's posts, Evan's tests, and the brooch evidence. I also asked my attorney to prepare a settlement demand, a public correction, and a formal end to the engagement. Maya said, They will try to use Walter to trap you again. I know. Can you still operate after all this? In the OR. Evan does not exist. During the flight, I studied Walter's scans while calls came from Evan, his family, and unknown numbers. I rejected them all. When we landed at LaGuardia, Evan called again. Where are you? He asked. I will send a car. No. Claire. Do not create another scene. I stopped near baggage claim. I came back because a patient needs his surgeon. Not because you need your fiancé. His breath caught. Granddad keeps asking for you. Tell him I will do everything medically possible. Can I see you? Ask your wife to comfort you. I ended the call. Maya waited outside. She took my suitcase and handed me a folder. Your attorney finished the first draft? Good. They are all at the hospital. Sophia too. Of course she is. She posted that she is standing beside her husband through the family's darkest hour. I got into the car, then let hair stand. At Whitmore Heart Institute, I changed into a white coat and walked toward the surgical conference room. Evan stood at the end of the corridor. He looked thinner. His eyes were bloodshot. When he saw me, he moved fast. Claire. I raised a hand. Family waits behind the line. He stopped as if I had struck him. Sophia stood several feet behind him. Clutching her purse with both hands, the emerald brooch flashed at her collar. I looked at it once, then walked into the conference room. The department heads were already seated. Marcus placed the newest scan on the screen. The tear has grown. I said, "We cannot delay. We secure the upper section first, then rebuild in segments. No pulling across the weakened wall." The anesthesiologist frowned. "His lungs may not tolerate a long bypass." Then we shorten the sequence. We prepare full support, but do not use it unless his pressure collapses. For several minutes, there was only anatomy, risk, and time. After the meeting, Marcus asked, "Do you want me to brief the family? We do it together." The family conference room was packed. Evan stood near the head of the table. Sophia sat beside him, her marriage certificate visible inside a clear folder on her lap. When I entered, every conversation stopped. Evan began. "Claire?" I opened the chart. "Walter Whitmore is in critical condition. Doctor, Reed and I will explain the operation and the risks." Sophia leaned forward. "Dr. Bennett, we are trusting you with our grandfather." She emphasized our. I looked at her. "Mrs. Whitmore, you may listen as Evan's legal spouse." Her face tightened. I explained the risks. Severe bleeding, stroke, organ failure, death. I kept my voice calm and precise. Sophia interrupted. "Do you have to make it sound so terrifying? This is informed consent, not a wedding vow." Her eyes filled instantly. "I am only worried about him." "Then listen." Evan frowned. "Sophia is not a doctor. Watch your tone." I set down my pen. "Mr. Whitmore, I am your grandfather's surgeon. If professional language upsets your family, you may step outside." No one moved. At the end, Walter's son signed the consent form. Sophia reached for it. "I am family too. Can I sign? You are Evan's spouse." I said, "You are not Walter's first medical proxy." Her hand froze above the table. Evan muttered, "Sophia, stop." When the briefing ended, I walked into the hall. Evan followed and grabbed my wrist. "Talk to me." I looked down at his hand. "Let go." He did. "I know you are angry," he said, "but can we put us aside until Granddad is safe? There is no us. I made a mistake." "You got married?" Sophia was falling apart. "Her father is dying." She said she had no one. "So you rescued her all the way to the courthouse? Why do you have to make everything sound ugly? Because you keep dressing cruelty as kindness." He stared at me. I stepped closer. Sophia was fragile. "So you married her. Walter is sick. So I must return. Your family is embarrassed. So I must lie. Every disaster becomes a reason I owe you obedience. You were never like this." "No." I was quieter. Sophia rushed over, already crying. "Blame me," she said. "Please do not turn Evan against me." I was scared. I only wanted a family. I looked at her. "Congratulations. You have won. Keep your husband away from his ex-fiancée." Her tears stopped for half a second. That half second told me everything. Before surgery, the hospital's legal team brought me written confirmation that I had returned as an invited medical consultant. A nurse whispered that reporters were outside. Someone had told them the future Mrs. Whitmore had come home to save the family patriarch. Even now, they were trying to blur my status. I took out my phone and posted a short statement. "I returned to New York at the formal request of Whitmore Heart Institute to treat my patient, Walter Whitmore. I have no marital or engagement relationship with Evan Whitmore. Any statement describing me as his future wife is false." I turned off the phone, scrubbed in, and entered the OR. The surgery lasted through most of the day. Walter's aorta was thinner than the scan suggested. Bleeding started near the lower repair. His pressure dropped. A resident's hands shook. "Eyes on the field?" I said, "Clamp above the tear." "Patch." The nurse placed it in my hand. "Pressure is still falling. We are not chasing the monitor. We are fixing the source." The room tightened around my voice. I secured the upper section, rebuilt the damaged area, and checked the flow. Slowly, Walter's pressure rose. When the final stitch was placed, Marcus exhaled. He is stable. For now. I said, Iko. Full monitoring. Outside the OR. The Whitmore family rose together. Evan reached me first. How is he? The operation was successful. The next day is critical. His eyes filled. Thank you. Thank the team. He reached for my arm. I stepped back. Do not block the hallway. I went to wash my hands. Maya waited in the physician's lounge with coffee, and my phone. The courthouse record is public now. She said, So is your statement? People know he married Sophia before your wedding and still expected you to walk into the cathedral. I took the coffee. How bad? For them? Brutal. She showed me the comments. People understood exactly what Evan had tried to do. I handed the phone back. I do not care what strangers think. You will care about this. She played a recording from the hallway. Sophia's voice floated through the speaker. Soft and wounded. I never wanted to hurt Claire. But love cannot be forced. Evan shows me. Once she accepts that. I hope she leaves peacefully. I almost laughed. Evan appeared in the doorway. Can we speak alone? Maya folded her arms. No. I said, Speak. He looked exhausted. Take down the statement. Granddad needs quiet. The family needs time. Was anything in it false? He said nothing. Am I your fiancé? No. Am I your wife? His jaw flexed. No. Then the statement stays. Claire. I did not agree that we were over. You signed that agreement at the city clerk's office? His face went pale. I can fix the marriage, he said. I can file for an annulment. That is between you and your wife? You would not give me another chance? No. His voice cracked. After everything we had, what we had did not stop you. He stepped closer. I loved you. You loved my reliability. That is not fair. Neither was asking me to wear white over your fresh marriage certificate. Maya slid the folder across the table. My attorney will deliver this today. I said, You will cover the canceled wedding costs. Correct the false statements about me. Stop using my name. And return Walter's brooch. His gaze dropped to the paperwork. You are suing me while my grandfather is in the ICU? I saved his life while my heart was still bleeding. Do not lecture me about timing. He flinched. A nurse entered. Dr. Bennett. Mr. Whitmore is awake for a moment. He asked for you. I stood. Evan followed. I stopped at the door. Not during restricted hours. I am his grandson. And I am his surgeon. In the ICU, Walter looked small under the machines. His eyes opened when I leaned near him. The surgery went well. I said, Do not speak. Just rest. His fingers moved against the blanket. I took his hand. A tear slipped toward his ear. His lips formed two words. I am sorry. You need to live. I whispered. We can talk later. Through the glass, Evan watched us. Sophia stood behind him. The emerald brooch still at her throat. The next morning, Walter remained stable. The family, however, began to crack. Sophia tried to enter the ICU without clearance. I am Mrs. Whitmore, she told the nurse. Which patient are you the immediate relative of? Sophia could not answer. She was Evan's wife, not Walter's decision-maker. The badge she had fought for carried less power than she imagined. Lauter, she cornered me outside the ward. Do you think I stole everything from you? You did not steal it. Evan handed it to you. In love, there is no first or second. In marriage records, there is. Her eyes hardened. He chose me because I make him feel needed. You make him feel useless. So, you built a relationship out of emergencies? He wants a woman with a heart. No. He wants gratitude for doing the minimum. She stepped closer. Whatever you say. I am still the woman he married. Then act like it. Take him home. I walked away. My attorney arrived that afternoon. In a conference room, she reviewed the settlement terms, the public correction, the wedding losses, and the cease and desist notice. Add the brooch. I said. Maya placed a video on the table. In it, Walter fastened the emerald to my dress during my engagement dinner. This is for Claire, he said in the recording. No one else. The evidence was clear. The door opened. Evan entered without knocking. You are really doing this? Yes. Granddad just woke up. And I just operated on him. Can you stop treating me like a stranger? You made yourself one. He closed the door behind him. I was scared Sophia would hurt herself. You were scared to say no. She needed me. You needed to be needed. He stared at me. I continued. Every time she cried, you became a hero. Every time I stayed calm, you assumed I could survive another insult. That is not what I thought. It is what you did. He rubbed both hands over his face. What if I annul the marriage? Then, you will be single? And us? There is no us. He looked at me as if the answer were physically painful. You were my home? No. I was the housekeeper of your emotions. You left messes. I made them livable. Outside the room, voices rose. Sophia was arguing with Evan's aunt. I did not force him, she cried. Then why did you demand a courthouse wedding the day before his cathedral ceremony? I was afraid of losing him. Maya stepped into the room and held up her phone. She said more than that. The recording played. If I had not pushed Evan to marry me before the church wedding, Claire would have owned him for good. What else was I supposed to do? Silence spread through the hall. Evan looked toward the door. Maya played another clip. This one from a call Sophia had made to a friend. If Claire stays away, the Whitmores will blame her if Walter dies. If she comes back, Evan will feel guilty and protect me because I will look attacked. Either way, I win. When her friend asked what happened if Walter died, Sophia replied, that hospital has plenty of surgeons. Evan went white. Sophia rushed into the room. That is out of context. He turned to her. You said that about my grandfather? I was panicking. You used him? I did it because I love you. No. I said, you did it because you thought pain was leverage. Sophia pointed at me. You planned this? You wanted the family to hate me. I did not create your words. She looked at Evan for rescue. For the first time, he did not move. Walter learned the truth. After his condition improved enough for a family meeting, I stood beside his bed in my white coat while Evan confessed, I married Sophia before the wedding. He said. Walter's face tightened. Did Claire know? No. What did you tell her? Evan lowered his eyes. I told her the cathedral ceremony would continue. The monitor quickened. I placed a hand on Walter's shoulder. Slow breaths. Walter stared at his grandson. You asked her to stand at an altar while you were married to someone else? Evan whispered. Yes. Walter lifted a weak hand. It fell before it could reach him. Coward. Evan's eyes filled. I will fix it. Walter turned his face away. Then he saw Sophia near the door. Is that her? Sophia rushed forward, crying. I am sorry. I never meant to hurt anyone. Walter's voice was thin but sharp. Leave. Please, both of you. Evan took her arm. She resisted. But he let her out. Walter looked at me. I tied you to this family because I trusted the wrong man. You did not make his choices. I helped him believe you would never leave. I held his hand. Rest. No. Listen. You owe us nothing. That was the first apology from the Whitmore family that did not ask me to sacrifice something afterward. When Walter was strong enough to leave intensive care, he insisted on a private family meeting at the Whitmore townhouse. I attended only because he asked as my patient. He sat in a wheelchair near the library fireplace. Evan stood across from him. Sophia sat alone at the end of the room. My attorney and Maya remained beside me. A screen displayed the timeline, the courthouse record, my cathedral invitation, Evan's message ordering me not to make a scene, Sophia's post wearing the brooch, her recorded admission. Walter looked at Evan. You will step down from the family foundation until I decide otherwise. Evan nodded. You will pay every expense caused by the cancelled wedding. Yes. You will issue a public correction clearing Claire. Yes. Walter turned to Sophia. You will not represent this family at any public event. Sophia stood. You cannot erase me. I am Evan's wife. Walter's expression did not change. That is his mistake to correct. Evan said quietly, I am filing for an annulment. Sophia spun toward him. You promised you would never leave me. I promised while you were lying to me. You are doing this for her? He looked at me. Then back at Sophia. No. I am doing it because I finally see you. I felt no victory. Evan had not become wise. Consequences had simply reached him. Walter asked his longtime house manager to bring a small velvet box. Inside was the emerald brooch. Sophia's neck was bare. Walter held the box toward me. This belongs to you? I closed his hand around it. No. It belonged to the future you thought I had here. His eyes shone. Then I will keep it safe. If you ever want it, it is yours. I nodded. Before the meeting ended, Walter tried to stand. I moved forward immediately. Do not. He stopped, but bowed his head. Claire. I am sorry. The room fell silent. I accepted the apology because I deserved it. I did not confuse it with an invitation to return. Outside the townhouse, Evan followed me into the cold. If Sophia had never come back? He asked. Would we be married now? No. He looked stunned. She did not destroy us. I said, she exposed us? I do not understand. You always put me last. Then trusted me to stay. I can change. Change for yourself. I cannot lose you. You already did. His knees hit the stone walkway. Maya inhaled sharply behind me. Evan looked up, crying openly. Please. I will do anything. I watched him for a moment. Months earlier, I would have mistaken humiliation for love. I would have seen a proud man kneeling and believed it proved my worth. Now I saw panic from someone who had lost control. You are not grieving me. I said, you are grieving the fact that I can leave. He went still. Stand up. There are patients' families walking past. I got into Maya's car. In the weeks that followed, Evan's annulment became his problem. Sophia texted that I had won. No one was competing with you. I replied, then blocked her. Evan sent flowers. I returned them. He left food. I donated it. Then he waited in the parking garage. One evening, he said, I do not know what else to do. Nothing. How do I prove I am sorry? You stop making your apology another job for me. He lowered his head. Walter recovered slowly. On the day he left the hospital, I walked beside his wheelchair to the private exit. He handed me an envelope. Read it later. At home, I opened it. He had written that the brooch would remain in his vault. He had also written that I should never again become anyone's backup plan. I folded the letter and placed it in my desk. Soon after, I accepted a fellowship at a major cardiac center in California, an opportunity I had postponed twice because Evan said New York needed to remain our home. The day before I moved, he found me on the hospital rooftop. I heard you are leaving. I am. For how long? As long as the work matters. He nodded. Fighting tears. The annulment is moving forward. That is good. Does any part of you still care? I looked over the city. A part of me cared for a long time. His face lifted. That part is finished. He swallowed hard. Why? Because I do not love you anymore. There was no anger in my voice. That made it final. He cried quietly. I thought you would always be there. He said, I know. I thought you would understand. I understood until understanding became self-erasure. He wiped his face. Will you be happy? Yes. I left him on the rooftop. The next morning, sunlight spilled across the wing of my plane as New York dropped beneath the clouds. I thought about the bridal suite, the ring in its box, Walter's hand in Mina, and the moment Evan realized I had returned as a surgeon, not as his woman. My hands had saved a life. Those same hands had ended the relationship that was shrinking mine. I did not regret either choice. So tell me honestly, after everything Evan did, Would you have saved Walter and still walked away for good?